How do you handle finding out your sister has been carrying a secret about your parents' death that's been destroying her? I became Hazel's legal guardian at 18 years old. Our parents died in a car accident, and suddenly, I had an 11-year-old sister to raise with nothing but a warehouse job and a house full of their things. My aunt laughed when I said I was keeping her. You barely graduated high school and you want to raise a kid? You'll be back here in 3 months begging me to take her. Everyone assumed I'd fail. I had no idea how to parent, how to cook real meals, how to help with homework or remember doctor's appointments. I was a kid trying to raise a kid, but I signed the custody papers anyway because she was my sister, and I wasn't going to let anyone take her away. But I didn't know she was holding on to something I should know. The first morning I woke up 2 hours late and found Hazel already dressed with breakfast made. She looked up at me with red eyes and said, "I didn't want to wake you." By 12, she was balancing the checkbook and keeping a grocery list organized by aisle. By 13, she was cooking dinner 4 nights a week, doing homework propped against the backsplash while chicken stir-fry sizzled on the stove. Her teachers called to tell me what a joy she was. Every report card came back straight A's. When I'd stumble in exhausted, the house would be spotless, laundry folded on my bed, dinner wrapped with reheating instructions. I told myself it was temporary, but having her handle everything meant I didn't have to face how in over my head I was. By 14, she started anticipating my needs before I knew them. New work boots appeared when mine had holes. Groceries picked up on her walk home. She never complained when her jeans got too short, just bought thrift store replacements with babysitting money. One night I came home at midnight and found her asleep at the kitchen table, still in school clothes because she'd waited up to make sure I ate. By 15, she'd perfected being invisible, never played music too loud, never had friends over, never asked for anything. Then 3 months ago, the school called to tell me Hazel had collapsed during gym class. At the hospital, the doctor said severe anemia, pneumonia, and was dangerously underweight. When he asked when I'd last made sure she was eating, I realized I'd never actually watched her finish a meal. She'd been starving herself, and I'd missed it completely. After 2 weeks, I brought her home. Our parents had left us enough money that I could cut my work hours and be present. I started cooking breakfast every morning and sitting with her while she ate. She kept trying to slip out of bed to do laundry, but I'd guide her back and tell her to rest. She'd sit with her hands clenched, eyes darting to the dishes, the dust, the pile of mail. She couldn't sit still or relax. She'd ask me 3 times if I remembered to pay the electric bill. She'd check the fridge even though I'd just gone shopping. I asked about her day and got one-word answers, her leg bouncing the entire time. For a month, she seemed fine on the surface, but the panic was eating her alive. She moved through the house like she was apologizing for taking up space. One night, I found her on her bed with tears streaming down her face. I knew something was wrong, and she needed to tell me something. I sat down next to her and asked if she was okay. She shook her head, and fresh tears came. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I tried so hard to be good." Her voice broke, and something in my chest cracked. She told me she'd been trying to be easy, to never cause problems, to make sure I never regretted keeping her because she was terrified someone would take her away. She said she didn't know how to be a kid anymore because she'd spent 4 years making sure she wasn't a burden. Then she said something that made the room spin. They were looking for me. Her hands started shaking, and I grabbed them. "What are you talking about?" She was crying harder now, gasping between words. "The night Mom and Dad died, I snuck out to meet friends and didn't tell them where I was going. When they realized I was gone, they got in the car to search for me. That's when the accident happened." Her voice was barely a whisper. "I killed them, and you took me in anyway, and I had to be perfect because I owed you everything." I pulled her into my arms, and she collapsed against me like she'd been holding herself together with wire, and it finally snapped. For a second, I couldn't breathe because I'd spent 4 years thinking I was the one who'd failed her, and she'd spent those same 4 years thinking she'd murdered our parents. "You were 11 years old," I said. 11-year-olds sneak out. Parents go looking. Accidents happen. You didn't kill anyone. She tried to pull away, but I held on. "You don't owe me anything. You never had to earn the right to be here. You're my sister, and I love you, and I'm sorry I made you feel like you had to be perfect." My voice broke. "I'm the one who failed. I let you become the adult when you should have been a kid." We stayed there for a long time, both of us finally saying what we'd been too terrified to admit. Now Hazel's in therapy every Thursday and acting like an actual 15-year-old. Last week she forgot her homework and came to me panicking, and I stayed up helping her finish it. Yesterday, she showed me a B+ on her chemistry test like it was a trophy. She's messy, forgetful, normal, and I've never been more relieved.